Alright. And we're recording. Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
Hey, YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
I burped on you. What up?
We're about to go live. I hope everyone's holding onto their seats.
We're about to go so live, it's going to be like we're there. It's like we're really alive, even though we're dead, lifeless holes.
Because it's Halloween.
It's Halloween. You know I was a skeleton for Halloween, right?
Whoa, no, spoilers.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the stream. Let's see. Make sure everything's good to go.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I think we're good. Let me just start playing these spooky Halloween noises. So when it starts, we're going to play these noises.
Yeah.
Just pretend like, because you won't be able to hear it, just pretend like spooky noises are all around you.
Okay.
Alright. And we're going to go live.
We're going live now?
We're connecting.
Okay.
Any moment now.
It's going to happen. We're going to connect.
Oh, I think we just connected.
We disconnected?
No, we're live. We're live.
We're live.
We're live, Hamilton. What's that noise, dude? Do you hear that?
Oh, man. Did you hear that? Because I think I heard that.
It sounds like something spooky.
It sounds like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Doesn't sound like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
You don't know what she sounds like.
Hey, guys. What up?
Hello, everyone.
For a special Halloween-themed stream.
Spooky stream.
It's going to be so spooky.
My name is Hamilton Ward.
And I'm Connor Dreest. And we're back for episode 2.
Number 2. We hope you guys like our number 2. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First and foremost is that it's Halloween Eve.
Yes.
Which is probably my favorite of the Eves in terms of holidays.
At least top 10.
At least top 10. So I'm sure everyone just got back from all their Halloween weekend parties. What about you, Connor? Did you dress up for the weekend?
I dressed up a little bit. I was a skeleton, you know.
What kind of skeleton? You can't just. I mean, there's so many types.
You can't just be a skeleton.
Nah, is it Dios de los Muertos skeleton?
All right.
Jack Skellington.
You caught me. I was What is it called? Dia de los Tacos. That's the worst. I'm the worst.
Did you have a top hat?
I know, but I found this like straw hat that kind of fit. I kind of went for like mariachi dead guy.
All right. That's
cool. I almost brought my guitar. I didn't do that, but I had like this puffy mariachi shirt and a pretty cool little vest, and then I painted my face.
Well, I'm sure you went
actually, Madison painted my face, but
did you at least play Grand Fandango before you dressed up?
What's that?
Oh man, dude, you're killing me. The age difference here.
I know.
Yeah, I went as 11 from Stranger Things. Not the most original idea, but it was just so much fun.
Hey, it's all about
probably the best show I've seen in a long while. So I had to.
So wait, how did you go as 11? Because you're like not 11, and you also have a giant beard.
Yeah, I had to not shave the beard. So it was amateur hour by not shaving my beard, but I shaved the head and got a great dress, jacket. My girlfriend went as a box of waffles, so it was a good time.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So just quickly, since it is Halloween, I think we need to talk a little bit about horror movies in general, because I'm a big fan of horror movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan, I'd say. I'm not like die hard about it. I definitely like certain horror movies. I've never been a fan of like, I don't know. As soon as all those paranormal like activity movies started coming out, I checked out pretty quick.
You don't go for that?
I don't buy into that, Hamilton. But I like getting scared. I like spooky movies. So I guess we can talk about our favorites.
Well, what's your top horror movie? The one that do you have one that you go to and you're like, oh man, I have this girl over, I'm gonna get her totally scared?
No, I wish. See, I've never had a movie like that. Like, I really don't like watching scary movies, and I don't think it's because I don't like getting scared. I think it's just because like I don't get scared, and so it's like no fun.
You don't get scared?
Not really. I mean, it's got to be like, okay. So here's the deal. I watched a movie maybe like 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
Actually scared me. is called The Witch.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, so good.
I'd
So
recommend it.
good.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I feel like no one's seen that fucking movie. And
Yeah,
it's
I
just
told
so
everybody
brilliant.
at work, and I work at a movie theater, and nobody really had seen it except for like my bosses who have seen everything, but like all
Yeah.
the people my age were like, "What's that?" No, I knew. Did that come out recently? It came out in 2016. It's a brand new movie. You should watch it. It's free on Amazon if you have Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it
But,
really?
Yeah, yeah. That's how I
Oh,
watched
shit,
it.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, I heard it was free. It was cool. And yeah, it was just like really well directed, and I think that's my biggest problem with like scary movies. Is like I like the campy stuff, and I think I need to. I think I just need to sit down and watch like all the good campy horror movies because I just recently watched Army of Darkness, which was great.
That's brilliant, yeah.
Yeah. So and like those kind of movies I like, but when it takes itself too seriously and then it just ends up being not scary at all, like I'm not into that. So The Witch was great because it was like totally serious. It was like a period piece. It was like watching a, like a History Channel movie, but then it also had a witch. So
Yeah, they actually, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said it was directed well. Like the shots were just stunning. From an artistic standpoint alone, the movie is just phenomenal.
yeah,
But they actually took like lines from letters and books from back in that day and put it into the movie. So
Yeah,
it sounds authentic as hell.
yeah. That's what it says in like
And-
the credits. It was like the script was written with like actual documents and stuff. So
Yeah,
like
actual dialogue from back then.
yeah, dialogue that like people wrote
And
down.
we see back then, we're talking, I think it was 16 something, right? When the movie takes place. Like, the Salem witch trials kind of era.
Yeah,
Colonial America.
yeah. It was like 1700s probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like they were. I forget what religion they were, but like some kind of Catholic.
Christian?
Christian Catholic, I don't know, Jeebus, but and they get like exiled from their like sanctuary religious community, so they have to go and live,
On their
live
own.
alone. Yeah, just like this one family. So they build a cabin near the woods, but there's a witch in them woods. She comes out.
Yeah,
Doesn't like
I mean, and it's one of those things where it's not a lot of like pop-up scares. So if you're
No,
into
yeah,
that,
that's
you're
what I
talking about
really
this.
liked. That's what
It
scared me.
simmers.
Yeah.
It simmers underneath the whole film. So it's like bubbling constantly.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that stays with you afterwards. Like I still think about certain scenes in that movie.
Totally.
But yeah, I think we both highly recommend it. So if you haven't seen The Witch and you love horror, do yourself a favor and check it out.
Check it out.
But for me, I think probably my favorite like horror movie, the one that I go to whenever I just want to feel like creeped out, is Shudder. Not the American version.
Shutter.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Shutter Island
And-
with Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, God damn it.
Oh.
But it's about this photographer, and he starts getting haunted basically, and it kind of spirals off from there.
Is that
but-
Johnny Depp? Who's in it?
No, I think it's a Taiwanese film originally.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So it's not Taiwanese Johnny Depp.
no, but it's really great. And I think as a photographer and knowing what it's like in a dark room, it really hit home with me, man.
Really? So it's a spooky one.
Yeah, it has some of the pop-up scares, but it's more it kind of touches on the psychological
Okay.
a little bit. But growing up, things I think scared us a lot more. And for me, I think the scariest movie that I saw as a kid was probably, and it's funny because we were just talking about The Witch, but it was Witches.
Witches.
Yeah,
I've
it was
seen
this creepy movie, man. I think it was a Roald Dahl book, and they adapted it. So it's supposed to be like a children's movie, but there's just these scenes because they use a lot of like Jim Henson
Puppets.
kind of puppetry, yeah. And so like it's that makeup, that really makes something visceral, as opposed to like everything's fucking CGI today,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get me the way that did.
It's like in Stranger Things, like the monster in Stranger Things. Like I'm not scared of that monster because it looks like somebody's 3D modeling demo reel. It's like, oh.
Yeah, that's actually that's my one fucking complaint about that show is the monster, and I think people kind of directors use as an excuse. I think Abrams has said this. Is once you see the monster, it ruins it. But that's not fucking true at all.
Yeah, there's some cool monsters. I like to look
Yeah,
at them.
I think you can have a scary monster that once you see it, it still holds that sort of fear.
Mm-hmm.
I think sort of slashers do that. But there's this one scene in Witches that just it's fucking haunts me to this day, man. The witches, like, they're so creepy too. Like, they're like real witches, and so they stole this girl basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they put her, and like they don't know like where she is, or her family's like really worried. And all this one day, the dad like looks at this painting in his house, and he sees that his daughter is in the painting.
That's
And
creepy.
each day she moves in the painting, and they basically watch her get older and older and older until she dies.
Wait, but like, does she get older at the same rate that they're getting older?
Yeah. So
Oh.
like, it's like she's growing old inside this painting, and it's just so
But wait,
fucking
if she
creepy.
moves, that means she's still moving. So why doesn't she
Yeah,
like?
she's.
How often does the thing change?
I don't know. I haven't seen it in years.
We got to dive
Maybe
deep
once a
into
day,
the,
once
into
a
the
week.
mechanics of this world. Because if I was trapped in a painting and you could see me like once a day, then I would start writing notes.
Get me out.
I would write notes and hold them on a chair or whatever when I'm doing the painting, and it'd be like, I'm trapped in a painting.
I'm in the upside down. Save me from this fucking painting.
Yeah, there's always a way.
But it was creepy, man. Just because she looked creepy. I don't know, but it stayed with me for years and years.
Before we go and I talk about movies that scared me as a kid, which are totally random, but another really good movie. It's not exactly Halloween themed, I wouldn't say, but no, it's Halloween themed because it takes place during Halloween. And there's a definite Halloween inspiration during the ending, at least. The Guest. I don't know if you've seen that.
The Guest.
The Guest.
No, I have not seen that.
It's on Netflix for free.
Netflix.
It came out.
Shout out Netflix.
Yeah, they're sponsoring us. No, they're not. Yeah, The Guest came out, I think, like 2014, and it's like a low budget movie, but basically the premise is, there's this family whose son died, in Iraq or Afghanistan, something, and it's, modern day. And so they're all broken up. Their oldest son is dead, and like the mom's just at home crying. And then one day somebody comes to the door, and it's this random, army guy. And she's like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "Oh, yes, ma'am. I knew your son, Caleb. I was actually with him when he died." She's like, "Oh my God, come inside, please." And, he comes inside and starts talking, and he's, the mom gets all, broken up because she's hearing about her dead son and all that. So she's like, "Well, you got to stay with us a few days before you, figure out where you're going." And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to impose." He's like a gentleman and all that. But, the family, yeah, he's like a Southern gentleman kind of deal. The family eventually, like, they push him to stay, and he's like, "All right, I'll stay." And, he starts living with the family. And then, like, it just starts getting weirder and weirder. And then you start realizing that, something's definitely fucked up with this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that from the first, like, 10 minutes of the movie. It's like, all right, he's hiding. He has a secret. What is it? But then, like, it's a really suspenseful, like, cool build to it. And, like, the whole movie is, like, kind of, like, 80s inspired. It's got, like, really cool lighting. And, like, the whole soundtrack is 80s throwback, like, songs and stuff.
But when you say like 80s inspired with lighting, like what do you mean by that exactly?
So, spoilers. So if you want to see the movie, just like mute the stream for a little bit. But the ending of the movie takes place at a high school Halloween dance.
Okay.
And that's the the plot excuse to have this cool set, but the set is like these crazy like lights and like neon lights and stuff and like pumpkins and stuff. So, he's walking around this like at the end he's chasing down the two kids. And he's there's like fog machines going and like these big like laser light machines like blasting. So like if you type in The Guest, like the main photo that comes up is like him creeping around, and he's got this like cool rim light of like this green fog light on catching on him. It's like that kind of stuff. It's shot really cool. And it's like they do stuff intentionally. Like there's no reason to have anything that they had in that scene, but they're like, how can we get away with having a shit ton of fog and like cool lighting? Like it's a Halloween dance for a school that's like way bigger budget than any high school would ever have.
So, that's brilliant. I love it.
So it's really good. I'd watch it. I think you'd like it. It's super cheesy and like super like just comical almost, with all like how like it could never happen. The plot's pretty ridiculous, but that's what's fun about it, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that sounds fun, and it's weird too how like the 80s are like coming back in like the horror genre, you know. It's like these directors want to tap into that sort of prime time 80s horror that happened back then. And
Totally.
especially like with Stranger Things, you know, it's just like a total, you know, nostalgic throw.
Yeah.
And apparently it works. You know, people love it. People want to be reminded of what it was like to be a child and,
Yeah.
you know, to
Totally.
be scared. So like, what was your childhood, you know, scary movie?
Um. Hmm. Yeah. So this is weird too. Yeah, because I didn't watch a lot of horror movies when I was a kid. So
You didn't go to like sleepovers and like, oh man, I brought this from my dad's collection. It's so scary.
yeah, my friends weren't really into that. They were more like, "Look at this! This movie's rated R," and then it would just be
Ah.
like I remember I watched U571, this like Nazi submarine movie when I was like 7 years old. I was like, "What's happening?" There's just blowing guys away and guts everywhere. But so I saw that kind of stuff, but we never really watched horror movies. But I do remember specifically, and I wanted to talk about like the stuff that creeps me out. Like I don't really get spooked out by monsters or gross stuff because I like that stuff anyway. Because it's
Right.
like as an artist and like somebody that's into that kind of stuff like doesn't really spook me. Like I like it. It's like I want to draw monsters, cool. But like uncanny valley things creep me the fuck out. So like
Oh.
shitty 3D models. So for example, when
Well,
I
explain what uncanny, because I don't think a lot of people kind of know what that is. You know.
yeah, well, yeah, uncanny valley's like you're so close to being like it's and it happens a lot with like CGI and like humans and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
you're close enough to being real, but you're like a little bit off, and then that just makes it feel way more off than like if you were a cartoon. So like you could have a Pixar character that feels super lifelike and like you believe it because they've scaled it back enough and it's farther away from an actual person that and you can like buy it and you can believe it. But then when you have like you know
Polar Express.
yeah, in Tron Legacy, you got like CGI Jeff Bridges, like a young Jeff Bridges with like weird CGI lips talking to somebody in the beginning, and you're like, okay, this is really creepy. Like,
Yeah.
all they're trying to do is make a realistic human. So the uncanny valley is like when you try to get too close to something that's real, but you're a little bit off, and then it just looks like really spooky to me, at least.
Yeah, it does. It creeps people out.
Yeah. So one movie I saw with my dad, he showed it to me when I was growing up, and I think it does have Jeff Bridges in it. I don't know who's in it. It's called Lawnmower Man. Have you seen it?
Oh, I've seen the cover. Like when I used to go to Blockbuster,
Yeah.
it was always on the fucking shelf, and I just remember, what is this? I just remember seeing the cover and like, what is this movie?
Yeah. So the movie came out like when computer graphics were coming out. So maybe like early 90s, late 80s, I don't know. But like they were just getting like able to do 3D for like arcade games and stuff. So the movie is like it's kind of like Tron. It's based around people that are like the Matrix. They plug themselves in to like a game or something. But there's all these like super long and detailed sequences where they go into the game and like they have these really creepy like they have this model of a guy and he's like this human looking dude but he's really poorly modeled and like the proportions are all fucked up and he's like screaming at you. He's like Rah! And I don't even remember what the movie's about, but I just like that image is forever stuck in my head and like oh god, so scary. After I watched the movie, my dad was messing with me. I think he like started quoting something that the CGI monster said. And I was like, no,
Serious?
don't do it. It's like traumatizing. So yeah.
It's so weird, man. Like how like the randomest shit will just freak you out as a child, and you'll hold on to that forever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it shapes who you are. Like it just
Oh
boils
shit!
down.
And also, yeah, I just remembered this one. Yeah,
I'm bringing up a lot of deep shit for you. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I don't mean to
This is the
traumatize
worst.
you.
I'm still scared of this. There's this. I think it might be in Alice in Wonderland, which
Oh.
that whole movie kind of creeps me the fuck out. But as a kid,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was in the movie, or maybe it was in some little like short movie or something. There's a sequence where it's this walrus man kind of guy and his like little assistant, and they go down and they're eating clams or something, and
What?
they're eating all these baby clams, and the clams are like humans or whatever because it's Disney, everything's like a person, and they're like these guys are eating clams. There's some weird plot line about it. I'm pretty sure
What?
it's in Alice in Wonderland. It's like Tweedledee or whatever. What are those two guys?
Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
Yeah, they like go into some weird fever dream, and then it goes to this sequence with this walrus man. And I just
That's
remember,
weird.
like, there's this part where, the one of the guys, like, eats all the clams, and they're, he's not supposed to eat them. Like, because basically it's really creepy that they, like, lure these clams to come with them, because they're all, like, little baby people. Like, come on, clams. And they're like, yeah, let's go on a fun adventure. And then they, eat them all. Something
Jesus.
about that. And the animation was just super, super creepy and like super
Well, there
funny.
was this. You just reminded me actually, bringing something that I held back down deep inside me. But when I was a kid, I think it was like a made-for-TV movie of Through the Looking Glass, and they did some weird sequence of like the Jabberwocky, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
And I just remember it scaring the hell out of me. Like I almost want to YouTube it and just
yeah.
see if I can, find it. But I just remember being scared to death of it.
Yeah. Totally.
But you'd mentioned before, one of my favorite kind of Halloween. Actually, it's my favorite movie of all time. That you haven't seen Beetlejuice,
Oh yeah. Nope.
which to me is a fucking crime against nature.
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
So how does one not see that movie? It's like, oh yeah, I've never seen the Goonies. I love pop culture. I love movies, but I've never seen. How do you not see the
I mean,
fucking Beetlejuice movie?
I think it's just because I didn't, it came out before I was
No,
born.
I don't know.
This came out before I was born. How am I expected to see everything? And I know that it's a cult classic or whatever, but
No, it's not even a cult classic. It's a
okay,
classic.
it's a classic. It's the Juice Demon.
So you're saying it's because
It's
it
I don't
wasn't
know.
around when you were a kid.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I've always heard about it, but I've never had somebody that's pushed me. They're like, you have to see Beetlejuice. I mean, you're the first one to be like, you
All right, well, it's gonna happen.
You see Beetlejuice. And I
I think
like
that's-
what's the guy's name? Batman.
God. Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. I saw a guy in my neighborhood that looked just like Michael Keaton the other day. Did like a double take. He's like, "Is that Michael Keaton?"
Do you think he's there, man? Do you think he's
No,
just
he was,
strolling
like, way
around through the
younger.
neighborhoods of
It
Charlotte?
looks like Michael Keaton from like the '80s, so it couldn't have been him unless he time traveled.
Which he can do a lot of stuff, so you might have.
You never know.
Well, we're gonna have to watch that movie. I'm gonna push for it.
Yeah, we'll just watch it on the stream. Probably get
Yeah.
flagged, but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So the other day, I was watching. I was just sort of listening on the Facebooks, and everyone was talking about this fucking David S. Pumpkins.
Oh yeah.
From,
Speaking
SNL.
of David S. Pumpkins, if you like our little pictures of our little avatars there in the corner of the screens, inspired by David S. Pumpkins. So if you don't know what that is, go ahead and do yourself a favor. Type in David Pumpkins on Google.
It's
Something.
yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like
But there's a lot of people that just think it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I was reading one article that said that it's so brilliant because Tom Hanks just gets into the character. He just totally sells it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think he gets into it that much.
dude, he was in it, man.
Was he?
He was David S. Pumpkin. Like he was. I mean, you need, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
But it's
pretty
just
great.
it's so absurd. Like it's just that sort of absurd humor, and you have the characters questioning like what the hell is going on, and so it becomes.
What are the skeletons? Part of it.
it just becomes like this brilliant little skit.
And that's my favorite favorite stuff on SNL. Like I don't know, so if you follow SNL, Kyle Mooney and Beck Bennett, they're like new cast members, and when they first got signed onto the show, SNL kind of let them do their own thing, and it just did not go well. Like I followed them for years because they had this YouTube channel for the longest time called Good Neighbor Stuff, or Good Neighbor. I think they have two different channels, but they were like a sketch comedy group, them and one other guy. And like I've watched their videos for like ever, and like they've always just been so hilarious to me. And then when I found out they were going to be on SNL, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. And they actually, I was super surprised SNL let them do some of their own like jokes. So there were entire skits that you could tell were like, some of them were direct remakes of YouTube videos that they made years ago.
Oh wow!
But you could like, 'cause you know how SNL does the live recording, so you can hear the audience like laughter and stuff during the skits. Like people just didn't like react at all to the jokes, and I'm at home like cracking up, and you hear like one guy like on like the live recording. So after a while, they just got cut. Like you can go on YouTube and like all of their skits are just cut for time and watch them, but like they're super funny. So
is that who was in the Pumpkins?
yeah, Beck was the dude in the elevator.
All
on
right.
the date, and Kyle was the guy that had the human head.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, the fucking head. Yeah, I wanted to say like
Oh shit!
I think the thing that stood out for me was that scene. Like they're on like an elevator, like a spooky elevator, and it opens on each floor, and there's like something scary that's supposed to happen. And on one of the floors, it's this dude holding a platter with the girl's head on it, and they're like, "Oh, it's scary." And then they're like, was that my head?" And she's like, "Oh, that must be why they take our picture at the beginning." And the dude, he looks scared about it. And to me, that's what freaked me out about that skit was like, you know what I mean? Like, is this going to get really dark? And then it just totally
Didn't
kind of
get dark.
U-turns out of it. Yeah, it goes. So I think that moment to me was what was so brilliant about that skit.
Took a
is
turn.
that
Of what you
it
thought
sets
it would
up for something really dark and just goes totally fucking absurd and crazy and funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I can see why people hate it,
Yeah.
but I can also see why people love it for what it is. And I really do think it's because Tom Hanks just fucking sold
Tom
it.
Hanks, and I think, I mean, if I had to guess, I don't know, but I'm sure Kyle or Beck or both of them like had a big part in this writing it because that's their favorite style of comedy, just dumb shit like that. And, like, I can't get enough of it.
Really?
This is one of my favorite. It's my favorite SNL skit of recently, and it's Kyle and Beck and Chris Hemsworth. And it's like the funniest fucking skit. What's it called? It's called Reality House. It's just making fun of reality shows. And like the whole sketch is just like them just like kind of ironically making fun of the whole like setup of the show. So, you know, like Chris Hemsworth walks into the room and Kyle's sitting on the couch and he's, I forget what he says, but he's like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about making dinner. You wanna get in on that?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure man." It's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go take a shower." And so he leaves. And then you know, Beck walks in. He's like, "Hey man, want to go get Chinese food?" And then it just cuts to like the interview segment. Kyle's like, "Whoa." It's like, Chris just told me he wanted to go make dinner, and now Beck wants to get Chinese food? Like, what do I do? And like, it's just all shit like that.
I'll have to check that out because that sounds. I like that type of. Like
Chris Hemsworth walks back in the room from the shower with the towel on, and he just like immediately like just like freaks out, and then it goes to him in his interview. He's like, "When I left the room, Beck wasn't there, and now Beck's there. I got to get to the bottom of this." It's like the dumbest shit. You know? It's so good. Yeah, you should definitely check that one out.
No, I will. Well, let's talk a little bit about art.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about art since this is.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about funny stuff and spooky Halloween creatures? And...
Let's talk about art. Let's talk about art.
All right, we can talk about art for 5 minutes, and then I'm going back.
All right.
No, I'm just
To
kidding.
spooky Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
So I was kind of, shower thinking the other day, and I realized I think one of the biggest things that I've changed recently is sort of my momentum with work. And I don't know if you've kind of done this as well, but like I'm making work every single day. And that's helped me out so much. Whereas before it'd be like, oh, maybe I'll make a piece, once a week or so. But about a month ago, 2 months ago, I'd say, I was like, you know what, I need to make something every day. And that's completely like changed the game for me.
Yeah.
Like the ideas just come so much quicker now, and it's been great. Like, I don't know, like, do you have a routine or schedule for that? Do you make work every day?
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I at least try to sketch every day. Like if I don't have time, if it's just like, one of those days where I have to actually go out and do something, I'll still like bring my sketchbook and, make sure I at least like get something down because like you said, it's good. Just continuing to have momentum is going to, help you improve because, I mean, if you just don't do work for a few days, you're definitely going to, it's going to take you a while to just get back into the flow of things. And you're going to be like, oh no, like if you just put it off and then go back into it blindly, you're just going to, you kind of lose perspective. So if you're constantly working on stuff, you probably, I mean, at least for me, I definitely have a better, just handle on what exactly I'm doing. If it's like process stuff, maybe if I just don't work for a week, I might just come back to it and forget about my whole process. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's like a piece you're working on and you leave it for a week, you'll come back and be like, all right, what was I doing on this again? So what about you? Are you like doing Do you have it on like a weekly schedule of like you set like short-term goals for yourself of what you want to get done that week or?
Yeah, I think I mean, my one teacher that I had, Heather Freeman at UNC Charlotte, she was big on keeping a calendar and just like a hardcore calendar where you would go by hour, and plot in things. So it's like from 6 to 7, I'm going to sketch. From 7 to 8, I'm going to execute, that kind of thing. And so that sort of got me into that, and that's helped me out a lot. But even like you said, just sketching out ideas, because you slow down. But for like the last week, I was trying to do a new photo shoot like every day for like Instagram.
Gotcha.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do like a Halloween themed shot like every day.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun. Because it forced me. Like I'd come home from work and I'd be tired as hell, but it's like, oh man, I gotta put something on Instagram for my 200 followers,
I said I would do it.
I said I'd do it. I can't back down.
Yeah, I try to do that stuff a lot, but then I don't know. I have this weird thing where if I say that I used to do it all the time. I'd like post a thing on Facebook that I did that day, or like I do like I remember you could probably go back and find it. I drew like 5 characters a day. They were like quick sketches, but I was doing like 5 characters a day. I did it like 2 days in a row. And I was like, this is my 5 character a day folder. It's like I'm gonna do 5 characters every day, and then that way I'll just constantly be doing it, and it'll be great. And next thing you know, a year from now, I'll have like a bajillion character drawings, and it'll be awesome. But I just immediately like gave up on it. So
why'd you give up on it?
So what I've started to realize is that when I say that I'm going to do something, like I can tell myself and write it down and start the goal that way, and that normally works out pretty well. But if I like go online or tell a bunch of people that I'm going to do something,
right?
It kind of you kind of get the feeling that you already did it. You're like, it's out there. Like I said, I was going to do 5 characters every day, Monday through Friday. So, I mean, technically I've already done it because I posted that I was going to do it. It's like this weird mental thing where...
Oh, it's weird, man. Because I work completely different than that. Like,
really?
that gives me the motivation. It's like,
yeah, because you don't want to let people down.
Yeah, because I think that makes your work and yourself look more professional.
True.
It's odd. I can see where that would get to you. It's like, oh, I said I'd do it,
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes it doesn't really get to me, especially since I'm just starting out. Because I'll put something on Facebook like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this thing," and then like, it's not like 1,000 people comment on it and be like, "This is so good, man. You're such a good person for doing this." It's like maybe like 2 likes. So when I don't do it, I'm like, I didn't really let anybody down. And then
you're letting down those 2 people, you son of a bitch.
And I just feel like shit because I'm like, I put it on there and then I didn't do it.
And that, I mean, even like for me, like I remember just sort of going back, but like getting like a like on like a piece of work, it's so good. Even if it's just like 1 or 2 people, it's just like, oh man, someone is actually seeing my work. Someone enjoys my work.
Yeah.
And that to me is just, I mean, that's not why I make work, but it makes it feel really good. Like it's not just ending up in a closet, in a dark bin or something.
Yeah.
Because in a way, it's like those 2 people, have never seen this work, and now my work is embedded in their brain, and they're always going to have that right in the back of their head.
Unless it sucks, and they just forget about it 2 seconds later.
And then you post again next week.
Yeah. Hey, look at this new thing I did. Oh, wait, didn't you do that last week? No.
No, it's not as shitty as last week. It's different.
You just delete all your old posts from a week ago, so no one can prove it. No, this is new stuff.
It's completely new.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think also like, you meet a lot of people by posting your work online and kind of using the momentum of trying to get work done every day. And do you have like, I mean, I know, just starting off like out of school and everything, teachers have always said, connections are like the, what you have to do and how you sort of get shows and everything. And connections, it makes it sound so like sketchy and like you're being a douchebag to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people are like, oh, I don't want to do connections. I don't want to go to events. And
you mean like it sounds like you're just the only reason you're doing it is because it's going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think people will have that in their mind. But I remember someone, I forget who, was talking about how don't think of it as that. Think of it as making like new friends, basically.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the same, gallery with someone that, and you're looking at the same work, you're making a friend that's interested in the same type of work that you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's like the biggest piece of advice I could give to people is, meet other people that are interested in the same work and just develop relationships like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I
don't
totally
go
agree.
don't go into it trying to get something. Just go into it trying to just make friends. And I've met some amazing people doing that, and I love it. I mean, do you have a process? Do you like to go to shows and
Ooh, no,
mingle?
I'm terrible at all that stuff. You're
Why?
definitely the guy that is good at that. I don't know, like maybe it's just because there's not a lot of stuff that like I'm super interested in like locally.
Okay.
Like it's not that I don't, it's not like I'm hating on the stuff you go see. It's like, oh, fine art sucks. I don't want to go to any galleries. But I would definitely rather go to some kind of like workshop or like they have that kind of stuff or illustration or concept art workshops, but they don't have any in North Carolina, and it's I just haven't gotten to the point where I'm willing to drive out somewhere yet
Yeah.
to go to one of those things. But I mean that would be my goal, is to go to one of those big workshops and meet people from everywhere, because I mean if you just stick in the town that you live in or like the city you live in, like you could probably make a lot of connections, but that's just like one place, so many people. I don't know.
See, but I mean, and that's interesting because to me, like, I really want to establish my roots in Charlotte. Like, I love the city,
Mm-hmm.
and the art scene here just feels like it's constantly in flux, and like you can help shape the direction that the city is going to take its art scene.
Yeah.
And you start going to these shows, and you start seeing the same people, and you start becoming friends with them, and I don't know, like I like that sort of community feeling.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I think I just haven't exposed myself to any of that stuff, which is probably
Well,
not good.
well, I mean, because it's interesting to me because we have this sort of different sort of outlook on it and process that we want to take with it, but I think it's an important aspect. So
Yeah.
how, like, so you're geared more towards the workshop. Like if there was a crazy cool illustration workshop, you would be on that in a second.
Yeah, and I think just at this point, like where I'm at, I think I'm just more focused on like getting better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of shitty because I should probably be doing all of it at the same time. I should probably be, going out, like meeting people that are doing the same kind of stuff I'm doing, and like, get like making connections and working on my stuff. But I'm like, I don't know, in my head, I feel like, the connections aren't going to help me if I'm not at the level I need to be at to get, the kind of work I want. So I don't know if it's just, if I feel like I have to wait until a certain point, because that doesn't, that's probably never a good idea. You should probably just be proactive, and I don't know.
Well, I think sort of the things that you're talking about and expressing are sort of what other people feel too.
Yeah.
That their work isn't good enough yet to go out there and meet other artists and
Yeah.
make friends like that.
Because no one cares if you go out.
No one gives a shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that, and it goes back to what I've always persistence over talent.
Yeah.
And part of that persistence is going out and introducing yourself to gallery owners and other artists in the area, other illustrators, and doing something like this, this little show we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The hope is that other artists in the area will come forward and send in some work, and we can, meet people through that.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to be from the area, wherever. We don't discriminate. Wherever you're at. Other side of the globe, man. If you got internet, send it over.
Bring it to us. Bring it to us.
Yeah, we want your love. So yeah.
So do you you don't play a lot of video games, do you?
I mean, I play some games. I try to keep it to a minimum, yeah, because I'm trying to be professional now, I guess.
You're trying to get a momentum, man. You're trying to do work every day.
Yeah. So like, I really wanted to play video games today, but I didn't do it. I was like, I need to work on this piece I'm working on, so I spent most of my day on that. But I've been playing Battlefield 1. It's pretty fun.
Is it good?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I get on like, I'll play Xbox. I have an Xbox One. I'll play like, on the weekend maybe for a few hours because I have some friends, that we'll get on and we can all, mic up and just have fun. It's good to cut back every now and then. You don't want to work
Yeah,
all the time.
you don't want to burn yourself out.
Yeah, you're playing games. What are you playing?
I'm still into the Overwatch kick, man. They did this, like, Blizzard is so good with their like Halloween events. Like Halloween's like my favorite fucking holiday, and Blizzard usually just goes all out for it.
Yeah,
and,
I saw they did something for Overwatch.
Yeah, it's good.
Like,
I mean,
new skins, right?
Yeah, and so I'm just throwing money at the screen, getting my skins. And it's all that because that fucking horse armor just ruined games. But
yeah.
But I mean, it's it's weird though because the Overwatch community is so active and there's so many great artists in the Overwatch community. And so before the event, the Halloween event, like everyone had all these character designs of cool costume ideas they could do. Mm-hmm. And so when Blizzard finally released like the costumes, I think a lot of people were disappointed because they weren't to what the community was like making.
Yeah, that's funny.
So it was a little disappointing, but I mean it's just fun, and I think it's good to have that sort of release where you're not worrying about art and you're just fucking just going to town, just having fun,
just watching the Overwatch, man.
Or watching the Overwatch. But next week we actually have a big show for you guys.
Big show.
We're gonna have our first guest on.
We are.
Joshua Green from UNC Charlotte is going to be joining us.
Joshy, I think he was in the stream earlier.
Nice. He's going to be here.
Yeah.
I think he's an illustration major, if I'm not mistaken. We'll ask him. He's here next week.
UNC Charlotte.
But he does these dioramas that are insane.
They're dope.
Yeah, we'll post some photos for you guys so you can see it beforehand, but they're gorgeous works. And we'll be talking about his process with that and just sort of how he handles everything. So that'll be next Sunday at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And we'll also be talking a little bit about toy photography. Because that's always, I do a lot of toy photography.
You do? I thought that was Josh's thing.
But Josh does it too.
Yeah,
that's actually how we connected. He does do it better.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because he has those fucking dioramas that he makes.
He does, yeah. Takes it to the next level.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about that and having a good time with that.
Hell yeah. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, me too. So thank you everyone for joining in and listening. If you have any questions, concerns, critiques, please post.
Yeah. If you want to talk about how this vampire's face looks like a potato, I don't want to hear it because I'm drawing on my desktop. I don't draw on this computer. It would be way better on my laptop. Trust me.
Do we have an email yet that people can send work to? Because we need to.
Let's join the Facebook page.
Okay.
But yeah, I think what we want to do. So let's talk a little bit about that because I thought it'd be cool to do like a weekly critique, but. Since we're trying to keep these live streams to like 45-minute chunks, maybe we could do critiques as like a different thing. So we could do it a different day, maybe like during the week.
Okay. Well, either way, we need work to critique.
Yeah, either way. If nobody's sending stuff, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
So please send us some work out there, and we will critique it, talk about it, maybe have you on, do a little chat. Yeah.
And it's definitely not something where we just want to critique work because we think that we're better than everybody because we suck.
We just love talking about work.
We just want to see other people's work, and just have that dialogue about it because that's how you improve. Because if you don't share your work with other people and you just even if you do share it and all you do is post it online and maybe you post it to people that aren't necessarily like artists, the people may like it, but they're not going to know like why it's good or if it's good, So if you have somebody that's also an artist and is informed a little bit to talk about it, then hopefully you learn something that you can, put into your future pieces. And then, those same people that don't know anything about the process, they're gonna like your new stuff even more. They probably won't know why, but it's just, as you improve as an artist, you can sell your stuff to more people. And like the goal with art is never to just make stuff for other artists. So,
Right.
it's other people that don't have anything to do with this stuff are going to be the people that buy whatever you're making, or the people that are interested in what you're making. So it's good to have.
Send away.
Yeah, send it
Please
up.
send
Send it
away.
up. We'll talk about it.
What's the Facebook Between the Strokes?
Yeah, Between the Strokes, guys. That's who we are. That's what we do. This is what we do between the strokes. You know what we're talking about. Sometimes, life, it's all it is. You're just stroking, but
Just stroking away.
like Clarence Carter. But every once in a while, you got to talk about art. You got to talk to other people. So, that's what we're about. Facebook.com/Between the Strokes. Go ahead and request it might be an open group. We might have to approve you. I don't really know, but just look it up. We'll post it on, I think it's on the Twitch, but if not, we'll put it on there. But yeah, I drew
Thank
this
you, guys.
vampire guy and a little mariachi skeleton. They're fucking awful drawings. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't see them, so I can't comment on them. Maybe we'll critique that next
It's
week.
okay. They're bad. They're bad, Hamilton. You don't need to say it.
Well,
right,
thank
guys.
you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much.
See you next week.
Peace out. Hey, YouTube. Thanks for watching the
YouTube.
video. Woo!
Woo! Send us your work.
Send us your work. Facebook.com/Between the Strokes.